True strength is rarely loud or forceful. It does not need to prove itself through domination or aggression. The strongest people move with a quiet certainty, a calm presence that does not intimidate but commands respect. Their gentleness is not weakness. It is the result of mastering themselves, understanding the depth of life, and choosing peace over conflict. Those who appear soft often carry the heaviest wisdom, and it is the strongest people are those who have learned to master themselves before seeking to master anything else. They do not allow anger, fear or frustration to dictate their actions. Instead, they observe their emotions, understand their triggers, and respond with clarity and purpose. This self-discipline is the foundation of their power, for strength that is uncontrolled becomes chaos, while strength that is guided becomes a force that others feel without realizing. Self-mastery allows them to act with intention rather than impulse. They do not need to dominate a situation to assert themselves because their confidence comes from within. Every choice they make is deliberate, shaped by awareness rather than reaction. This calm, controlled energy makes their presence commanding without aggression, and it is this quality that often makes them appear gentle to the outside world. Through self-mastery, they cultivate resilience. Challenges and adversities are met with a composed mind and steady heart. Even when facing pressure or conflict, they do not crumble or lash out. Their inner strength acts as an anchor, stabilizing not only themselves but also the environment around them. People sense this stability and it draws respect, trust and cooperation naturally. Mastery over oneself also enhances empathy and understanding. Because they have confronted their own fears, weaknesses and limitations, they are able to approach others with compassion instead of judgment. This empathy does not diminish their power, rather it channels their strength in ways that uplift and guide instead of intimidating or controlling. Their gentleness becomes a natural extension of their inner control. Ultimately, the strength born from self-mastery is quiet but undeniable. It does not seek attention or validation because it does not need to prove itself. Their power is measured not by what they can overpower, but by how much they can hold, absorb and transform without breaking. This is why the strongest people appear gentle, for their strength is rooted in control, awareness, and the courage to remain calm in the face of life's storms. It's balance that makes them truly powerful. Gentleness is a deliberate decision, a conscious expression of power, rather than a concession to weakness. Those who are truly strong understand that their strength does not need to dominate or control others. They exercise their abilities with awareness, choosing words, actions, and energy that uplift rather than suppress. This intentional approach to power ensures that every movement they make carries purpose and direction instead of being driven by impulse or ego. Choosing gentleness requires deep inner awareness. It is not a passive state, but a dynamic practice of holding oneself in balance while navigating a world that often rewards aggression. The strongest people assess situations carefully, understanding the consequences of every action. They act with precision, knowing that true influence comes from restraint and mindful execution, not from force or intimidation. Gentleness is reinforced by compassion. Those who wield power wisely see the impact of their choices on others and choose to act in ways that protect, guide and support. Compassion does not dilute strength, it refines it. When power is combined with care, it becomes magnetic and lasting. People are drawn to it, trust it, and respond positively, making influence more effective and sustainable. Patience is a companion to gentleness. Strength is not measured by how quickly one acts, but by the ability to wait, observe, and respond at the right moment. Those who are truly powerful resist the urge to react impulsively or aggressively. Instead, they act with timing, precision and thoughtfulness, which makes their power appear calm and controlled even in turbulent circumstances. Gentleness as a choice also demonstrates self-confidence. It reflects a deep understanding that they do not need to prove themselves to anyone. Their authority is internal, derived from self-mastery and clarity, not from external validation or fear. This kind of strength does not demand attention, it commands respect naturally, revealing that true power lies in restraint, thoughtfulness, and the courage to remain composed while influencing the world around them. Quiet confidence is not the absence of power, but the presence of control. Those who possess it do not feel the need to assert themselves loudly because their inner strength already speaks through their actions and presence. They move through life with clarity and purpose, and their decisions carry weight without requiring explanation or justification. People sense this certainty and it naturally commands attention and respect. This confidence is rooted in self-awareness. They understand their abilities, limitations and values, and they do not rely on external validation to measure their worth. By knowing themselves deeply, they operate from a place of stability which allows them to remain calm even in challenging situations. Their quiet demeanor is a reflection of their unshakable understanding that they do not need to compete or prove themselves to others. Patience strengthens this form of confidence. They do not rush to speak, react, or dominate a conversation because they trust the process of life and their own timing. By listening carefully and observing before acting, they ensure that their words and actions carry meaning and impact. The quiet confidence they exude comes from the ability to act with discernment, knowing when silence is more powerful than speech. Their calm presence influences others without force. People feel drawn to their composure, and their steadiness inspires trust and cooperation. Unlike those who rely on noise or display to assert authority, they allow their consistency and integrity to speak for them. Every action, no matter how small, reflects thoughtfulness and self-assurance, making their influence both subtle and profound. Ultimately, quiet confidence is the mark of mastery over oneself. It is an energy that does not need to compete, boast, or demand attention because it is grounded in inner certainty. This form of strength is enduring because it comes from control, awareness and clarity rather than fleeting external displays. Those who possess it move through life like a force of nature, subtle, steady and unmistakably powerful. Patience is not a weakness, it is a deliberate practice of strength. Those who are truly powerful understand that rushing into action without clarity often creates more problems than it solves. They observe, reflect, and assess before responding, allowing situations to unfold so that their decisions are precise and effective. In their patience lies a quiet control that prevents chaos and turns potential crises into opportunities for measured action. Through patience, they cultivate resilience. Life constantly presents challenges, obstacles and provocations, yet those with true strength do not allow themselves to be swayed by immediate pressures. They endure difficulties with calm determination, knowing that every moment of waiting builds their capacity to respond wisely. Their ability to remain steady under stress reinforces their influence and ensures that their actions are grounded in insight rather than reaction. Patience allows clarity to guide action. When others react impulsively, their decisions are often clouded by fear, anger or haste. The strongest people use patience as a lens to see the full picture, to anticipate consequences and to act in alignment with long-term objectives. Their restraint ensures that their impact is intentional, measured and enduring rather than fleeting or destructive. The practice of patience also deepens empathy and understanding. By waiting and observing, they gain insight into the motivations, fears, and needs of others. This awareness allows them to respond not only with strength but with care, turning potential conflict into cooperation. Patience becomes a tool that balances power with compassion, demonstrating that true influence is rooted in wisdom rather than force. Ultimately, patience is a visible reflection of inner mastery. It shows that the strongest individuals are not driven by impulses, immediate gratification, or the need to dominate. Instead, they act with discernment, timing, and purpose, allowing their power to manifest in ways that are subtle, effective, and enduring. Their strength is magnified precisely because it is exercised with restraint and thoughtful precision. Empathy is not a sign of weakness, it is a sophisticated form of strength that requires courage and awareness. The strongest people understand that seeing the world through another's eyes does not diminish their own power, but refines it. By connecting with the emotions, struggles, and perspectives of others, they gain insight into situations that might otherwise be obscured by ego, assumption, or pride. This understanding allows them to act with precision and effectiveness, rather than reacting blindly or harshly. Empathy gives them the ability to influence without force. They do not need intimidation or aggression to achieve results because they understand the motivations and needs of the people around them. By responding to situations with sensitivity and insight, they create solutions that are sustainable and fair. Their decisions carry weight not through coercion but through the clarity and respect that comes from truly seeing others. Through empathy, they are able to navigate conflict with wisdom. When tension arises, they do not lash out or impose dominance. Instead, they listen, observe, and discern the underlying causes of the situation. Their responses are measured and compassionate, addressing the root of the problem rather than its surface symptoms. In this way, their power is exercised not through fear, but through understanding, making their influence deeper and more enduring. Empathy also strengthens trust and loyalty. People instinctively recognize when they are understood and respected, and they are naturally drawn to those who treat them with consideration. The strongest individuals build connections that are resilient because they are grounded in genuine understanding. Others are willing to follow, cooperate and support them, not because they are compelled, but because they feel seen and valued. Ultimately, empathy transforms raw strength into a refined force. It allows the strongest people to act decisively without cruelty, to lead without dominating, and to influence without intimidation. Their power becomes a tool for harmony, progress, and meaningful impact. The ability to balance strength with deep understanding is what makes their presence gentle yet undeniably formidable. Inner resilience is forged through experience, struggle, and deliberate self-discipline. The strongest people do not crumble when faced with challenges because they have invested in building a foundation that cannot be easily shaken. They have confronted pain, endured setbacks, and faced uncertainty, and each encounter has strengthened their capacity to endure without losing balance. Their stability is not accidental, it is the result of conscious effort and consistent practice in managing their mind and emotions. Resilience allows them to maintain composure in the face of adversity. When chaos surrounds them, they do not react impulsively or surrender to panic. Instead, they anchor themselves in clarity and self-awareness, navigating difficulties with steady determination. This ability to remain grounded in turbulent moments is what makes their presence both calming and commanding. Others sense this strength and are naturally drawn to it, often seeking guidance or reassurance in times of uncertainty. The foundation of inner resilience lies in self-knowledge. They understand their strengths and weaknesses, and they are unafraid to confront their fears. They do not depend on external circumstances for stability because they have cultivated an inner reservoir of confidence and fortitude. This self-reliance makes them impervious to many of the pressures that destabilize others, and it allows them to face life's unpredictability with courage rather than hesitation. Resilience is also reinforced by adaptability. The strongest people recognize that life is ever-changing and that rigid thinking can be their undoing. They remain flexible, learning from each challenge, adjusting their strategies, and emerging stronger. Their capacity to bend without breaking, to absorb lessons from difficulty without losing composure, is a key factor in why they appear calm, gentle, and unshakable to those around them. Ultimately, inner resilience is the source of their quiet strength. It is what enables them to carry themselves with grace under pressure, to face adversity without fear, and to make decisions rooted in clarity rather than reaction. That gentleness is not the absence of strength, it is the visible expression of an unbreakable inner core, a power forged in endurance, awareness, and unwavering self-mastery. Inner resilience is forged through experience, struggle, and deliberate self-discipline. The strongest people do not crumble when faced with challenges because they have invested in building a foundation that cannot be easily shaken. They have confronted pain, endured setbacks, and faced uncertainty, and each encounter has strengthened their capacity to endure without losing balance. Their stability is not accidental, it is the result of conscious effort and consistent practice in managing their mind and emotions. Resilience allows them to maintain composure in the face of adversity. When chaos surrounds them, they do not react impulsively or surrender to panic. Instead, they anchor themselves in clarity and self-awareness, navigating difficulties with steady determination. This ability to remain grounded in turbulent moments is what makes their presence both calming and commanding. Others sense this strength and are naturally drawn to it, often seeking guidance or reassurance in times of uncertainty. The foundation of inner resilience lies in self-knowledge. They understand their strengths and weaknesses, and they are unafraid to confront their fears. They do not depend on external circumstances for stability because they have cultivated an inner reservoir of confidence and fortitude. This self-reliance makes them impervious to many of the pressures that destabilize others, and it allows them to face life's unpredictability with courage rather than hesitation. Resilience is also reinforced by adaptability. The strongest people recognize that life is ever-changing and that rigid thinking can be their undoing. They remain flexible, learning from each challenge, adjusting their strategies and emerging stronger. Their capacity to bend without breaking, to absorb lessons from difficulty without losing composure, is a key factor in why they appear calm, gentle, and unshakable to those around them. Ultimately, inner resilience is the source of their quiet strength. It is what enables them to carry themselves with grace under pressure, to face adversity without fear, and to make decisions rooted in clarity rather than reaction. Their gentleness is not the absence of strength, it is the visible expression of an unbreakable inner core, a power forged in endurance, awareness, and unwavering self-mastery. The ability to remain silent in a world that constantly demands noise is a mark of true strength. The strongest people understand that words carry energy, and once spoken, they cannot be taken back. They choose to listen, observe, and reflect before responding, allowing their presence and actions to communicate more than empty words ever could. Their silence is intentional, charged with awareness, and commands attention without aggression. Through silence, they gain understanding. By listening more than they speak, They absorb the nuances of a situation, the emotions behind words, and the unspoken truths that often go unnoticed. This deep awareness allows them to act with precision and insight, ensuring that every response is meaningful and effective. Their restraint is not passivity, it is a deliberate strategy that transforms observation into power. Silence also creates authority. People naturally pay attention to those who do not feel the need to fill every space with words. The quiet presence of someone who is fully aware and composed carries weight because it reflects confidence and self-control. Their influence grows from their ability to hold space, to remain centered, and to let their actions and well-chosen words speak louder than constant chatter ever could. The strongest people use silence to manage energy and emotion. By not reacting immediately to provocation or chaos, they preserve their composure and think through their actions. This self-restraint prevents impulsive mistakes and allows them to respond in ways that are strategic, thoughtful, and impactful. Silence becomes a shield, a tool for clarity, and a source of inner stability. Ultimately, silence is a form of communication more powerful than speech. Every pause, every moment of careful observation, and every unspoken word reinforces their presence and authority. By listening deeply and speaking only when necessary, they demonstrate mastery over themselves and the world around them. Their gentleness is amplified because their actions carry the weight of thoughtfulness, wisdom, and undeniable strength. Humility is a foundation upon which true strength is built. The strongest people do not need to announce their abilities or seek recognition for their accomplishments because their confidence is rooted internally. They are aware of their power, yet they do not feel compelled to display it. This restraint is a reflection of their mastery over ego and their understanding that forceful demonstration is unnecessary when strength is genuine and steady. By embracing humility, they remain open to learning and growth. They recognize that no matter how experienced or capable they are, there is always more to understand. This openness allows them to refine their knowledge, adapt to new situations, and approach challenges with wisdom rather than pride. Humility keeps their strength grounded, ensuring it is sustainable and aligned with purpose rather than inflated by ego. Humility also enhances the way they interact with others. They do not belittle, dominate, or seek to control because they understand that true influence comes from respect and understanding rather than fear or intimidation. Their quiet demeanor encourages collaboration, trust, and loyalty. People are drawn to their presence because it reflects authenticity, steadiness, and integrity, making their power subtle yet deeply felt. The combination of humility and strength allows them to act decisively without needing to prove themselves. They make choices that reflect clarity and purpose, guided by insight rather than a desire to impress. This balance between power and modesty makes their actions effective and enduring as they achieve results through competence and wisdom rather than through noise or coercion. Ultimately, humility does not weaken strength, it amplifies it. By remaining grounded, self-aware, and free from the need for constant validation, they project a form of power that is gentle but undeniable. Their authority is intrinsic, arising from their mastery over themselves and their ability to act with clarity, integrity, and unwavering calm in every situation. They approach conflict with a mindset of transformation rather than confrontation. Instead of seeking to dominate or win, they focus on understanding the underlying causes and dynamics that created the tension. By observing carefully and assessing the needs of all parties involved, they turn potential chaos into an opportunity for clarity and resolution. Their presence in conflict is stabilizing because they act from insight rather than impulse, guiding the situation toward balance. In navigating conflict, they prioritize solutions over ego. They resist the urge to assert superiority or prove a point, understanding that true power lies in creating outcomes that benefit rather than harm. Every action they take is intentional, designed to resolve rather than escalate. Their calm approach allows others to lower their defenses, opening the door for dialogue, cooperation, and mutual understanding. Conflict becomes a tool for growth under their guidance. They recognize that every disagreement or tension contains lessons about perception, behavior, and relationships. Instead of avoiding difficulties, they face them head-on with patience and clarity, extracting insights that strengthen their own understanding and the cohesion of the group. Challenges become stepping stones, shaping wisdom, resilience, and deeper awareness. Their ability to transform conflict inspires trust and respect. Others feel safe in their presence because they do not act out of fear, pride, or aggression. People are drawn to the steadiness and fairness of their approach, knowing that their intentions are guided by balance and constructive outcomes. By fostering an environment where tension can be processed rather than suppressed, they strengthen relationships and reinforce harmony. Ultimately, transforming conflict into growth demonstrates mastery over both self and circumstance. They do not rely on force to impose order, but on insight to create alignment. Their gentleness in tense situations reflects deep strength, showing that true power is measured not by the ability to dominate, but by the capacity to turn challenges into opportunities for learning, connection, and meaningful progress. Gentleness is a force that naturally draws people toward those who possess it. The strongest individuals understand that power does not need to intimidate or coerce, it can be expressed through calm, steady presence. When they act with gentleness, their energy creates a sense of safety and trust, allowing others to feel seen, heard, and understood. This magnetic quality fosters connections that are genuine rather than superficial, as people are instinctively drawn to those who exude confidence without aggression. Trust emerges from the consistency of their gentle approach. They do not manipulate, dominate, or enforce their will on others. Instead, their actions are measured, fair, and deliberate, demonstrating integrity and reliability. People learn to rely on them because their behavior is predictable in its steadiness and guided by thoughtfulness. The gentleness they exhibit is not weakness, it is a conscious choice to lead through respect and consideration, which inspires loyalty naturally. Loyalty grows when people feel safe in the presence of someone who is strong yet gentle. Those around them understand that they will not be exploited, dismissed, or harmed. This sense of security allows others to invest trust, effort, and commitment freely, creating bonds that are deep and resilient. The ability to inspire loyalty without fear or coercion amplifies their influence and extends their impact across relationships, communities, and organizations. Gentleness also allows influence to be enduring. When people are drawn to someone through fear or force, their compliance is often temporary and conditional. In contrast, influence earned through calm, steady presence and thoughtful action has longevity because it is rooted in respect and admiration rather than intimidation. Their subtle power encourages others to follow willingly, making their guidance both effective and sustainable. Ultimately, gentleness is a reflection of inner mastery. The strongest people do not need to assert dominance to be effective. Their calm confidence, measured actions, and ability to connect authentically with others create a profound impact. By cultivating gentleness, they attract trust and loyalty effortlessly, demonstrating that true power lies not in aggression or loudness, but in the ability to influence through respect, understanding, and steady presence.